Hey, what's going on, guys? And happy Monday to you. I am Bambis and this is Now Hip Hop TV, where not only do we cover hip hop culture, but we cover the important entertainment news. So everybody has been buzzing and talking about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 3. This season is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, let's get right into it. We're going to be covering episode 5, and then of course from this point I'm going to be covering them episode by episode. And make sure to check me out. I am going to be the host on Mondays, so every Monday I will be posting a video on this channel. So the episode pretty much kicks off with the whole Young Jock, Karlie and Khadijah situation. I have to say that Young Jock is definitely in the fault for this situation. You do not make a woman who you slept with to be the end all and be all of everything, you know, that you do with your career or whatever Khadijah does for Young Jock. I just think it's wrong because, in a sense, as crazy as Karlie can be, Karlie actually wants to, you know, settle down, and she's getting older, and now I think she's actually maturing this season compared to the last 2 seasons where I felt that she was just crazy and full of drama. So what ends up happening is, you know, Young Jock decides, hey, you know, I want to check out the rest of the house. The house is absolutely gorgeous and is to die for. I'm not even kidding. It's a fantastic house. So he leaves, and then pretty much Karlie is like, okay, you know, let's get down to the point here. Are you sleeping with my man? And of course, you know, Khadijah is like, yes, I am. And then this crazy fight erupts. And here's my thing. This is just a little advice to you, Karlie. Don't start a fight unless you know you're capable of, like, you know, defending yourself. Because if those people were not there to break up that fight, I honestly think Khadijah probably would have had the upper hand. And that would have turned into an even worse situation. So, of course, probably, you know, Young Jock hears the commotion. He comes down, and Karlie has had it with him, and pretty much she drives off, you know, with his car, and it ends up going with Khadijah and leaving, which I think is just, that is just so messy that it hurts, okay? So then, of course, moving on, my condolences goes out to Bambi and her miscarriage. And then we come to find out too in the previous episode that, you know, there's more to Mama D than meets the eye. And we find out that she also had a miscarriage. And, you know, I think that sometimes Love and Hip Hop brings up these valuable lessons sometimes. Besides all the craziness and like the ratchetness that the program is known for, it also shows the reality of what it means to associate with these men that are successful, and, you know, often they don't necessarily step up to the plate. And in a way, I know this is definitely going to sound weird, but I don't really think that even if Bambi had this kid, that Scrappy would really, you know, be committed to her in the way that Bambi wants him to be committed to her. And, you know, this is my advice, you know, to the young women out there, you know, who are interested in, you know, a musician or someone who just, you know, likes to play the field. Don't waste your time. You want to think long term than short term. And then, of course, meanwhile, continuing with the Scrappy situation, we have Erica P. Now, Erica P to me is just, you know, she's an instigator, and she is just, I don't understand why Scrappy in the first place would confide in someone that he considers to be his quote unquote friend. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. That, you know, I mean, mentioning to Erica about the miscarriage, that's none of her business, okay? And then, you know, Bambi has all right to keep certain things private. And this is, I feel like something like a miscarriage is something that is intimate and should be kept as an intimate issue between you and your man. And that's just how it should be. So, of course, you know, Erica pretty much sends out her condolences, which was nice of her, but I didn't think it was the appropriate time to bring this up at, you know, Scrappy's birthday party. I mean, come on. And then a fight erupts, and that's just crazy. And, you know, Bambi pretty much, you know, and Scrap get back to partying and everything, but it was very, very awkward. And I do love Mama D, where she's like, you need to get in control of your women, okay? So, of course, you know, I'm not gonna say the B word, but that's pretty much what she said. So here are some other alternative storylines that are going on. My favorite storyline that I think should be the main storyline is between Kurt and Rashida. And I think Kurt, once again, is a hot mess for doing this. So pretty much what happens is there is a waiter or a waitress at this sports bar that Benzino and Stevie J and all of them hang around. And she's, you know, what Patty Singler would call a hottie patati, okay? And she is just absolutely just firm to a T, and I could definitely see Rashida like ripping her to shreds, and Kurt should know his wife, so he decides to hire her as the babysitter. So Rashida comes home, and I love this look. This is the exact look she gives like the new babysitter and Kurt. Seriously, I would have checked her too. I don't blame her. You know, I really don't blame her for feeling that way, because why on earth would you just hire someone without consulting me as your wife? And then on top of that, he goes and tells this waitress chick that pretty much that they're no longer together. So that really right there, I would be done with Kurt. That would be it for me, because if you're already dissolving the authenticity of a marriage, that's just game over. Absolutely. And then of course we have the whole Mimi and Dawn storyline, which I just don't understand in the first place. I mean, come on. You got Mimi and Dawn kind of try to play Charlie's Angels, and you know, trying to bring, Stevie J down to zero. I wouldn't do that. I would take the high road and just focus on my life and focus on other things besides trying to be messy with that whole Stevie J Jocelyn situation. I have much respect for Jocelyn, even though, she can come off super catty, but overall, she's a decent human being, because when you learn, I would say in like it was either first or second season, you find out that she was actually, she felt abandoned by her parents, and there was a lot of displacement in her life. So definitely this episode has been very spicy and indeed. But what I want to mention before closing today's episode is this storyline between Waka Flocka and Tammy is just kind of unnecessary. Tammy is like, besides Rashida and I would say Erica, she's very classy. So I don't really feel that she, fits on this show. And of course, there's a conflict between Jocelyn and Tammy, and this is what I find funny. In the entertainment industry, I feel some of the most successful people are the ones that are very humble and can take all types of criticism. So Jocelyn invites Tammy to kind of check out, some fashion, because she's doing a photo shoot for Hip Hop Weekly, which is Benzino and now Stevie J's partnership magazine. And Jocelyn is just taking jabs at her, saying that, men don't commit, all this stupid stuff. And then on top of that, her fashion is very sexual and in your face. So that's not necessarily, like, Tammy's trying to do something a little bit more classier, because I feel, depending on the type of photo shoot, because I know there's different levels of photo shoots that can be done in this, in the sexual level. But if you're really trying to be taken seriously as an artist, and of course, you want to be married to Stevie J, have this big wedding and everything. At the end of the day, you have to form yourself before getting married to somebody else. That's if you're even married in the first place, because, the authenticity of their marriage is actually being questioned. So I would say overall the episode was pretty decent, and it's going to be really interesting to see what goes down in episode 6. So let me know, what do you think about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 3 episode 5? Leave your comments below. Once again, I am Belazian Quita, and remember to stay classy and don't be trashy.